Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to teamfortress.tv. I'm FrickMyNick, joined by Ro and words are tar. And I'm joined by Ro and Looster on production, and we're going to be casting Space Pirates versus Edhead. How you doing, Ro?
I'm okay. Hello, friends. I'm here. As you say, Nick, let's get this bread. We've got Edhead coming up on the block. They've been, as you mentioned, notoriously unpredictable in different words, but I think that's a very interesting dynamic. So on the Edhead roster, you've got your boy Megawalk the Medic healing up Vati the Demo, Digi and Rocket Wizard, aka KTV on Soldier, Ghostak, not Ghost AC, and KJ Quad playing those Scout Boys.
Yep, and then on the other side of things, we have the Space Pirates. They have Sky on Medic, healing Chunky on Demo. They have Rakuso playing Roamer for them, along with Haze on Pocket. They have Shamu as their first scout, and this is their first match with Phone. They made Catface walk the plank, and they are using Phone for the rest of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how Phone fits into this roster. Phone has been playing, he plays both scout roles to my knowledge, kind of interchangeably. However, he's most recently been playing flank for Dunk Masters. So he's kind of on that flank role, and I know Shamu kind of plays more of a combo scout, so he should be able to fit into the team nicely. So we'll have to see if that creates any issues for them, if he's not quite on the same page as everybody, seeing as I think he played until Thursday last week with Dunk. So
yeah, I was gonna say you would be what we would consider an expert testimony to what kind of player Phone is, given your history with him.
I mean, from my experience on Dunk, he's very quiet. I mean, he kind of just does his thing on the flank. Like, you just know things aren't going to get behind you, and it's just kind of like, you know, wherever he needs like an arrow, or if he's coming for a buff, he'll just say buff, and that's it. But he's very easy to play with. Like I said, he's very predictable in a good way. At least he's on your team, which is nice because it's just like, hey, he's, you know, easy to find. Like, I need a buff, just turn around, there's Phone. And then, like I said, he's very reliable at like making sure things don't get behind. He's also a crazy sniper, which I don't think is something that Space Pirates necessarily like were hurting for breaking stalemates, but is a nice addition to have.
Yeah, you always need it. You never need it until you have it when you don't need it, and then you need it when you don't have it.
Yeah, something like that. Apparently we're all over the struggle bus for words today. But
it's okay.
Yeah.
I've just passed through my stroke, and I'm ready to cast this game.
Yeah, I think we've both been there. But yeah, like I said, it's Phone's a very easy player to play with, so I think he'll fit along with the Space Pirates roster nicely. And it's not to say that like Catface and Chimu aren't particularly amazing snipers, but Phone is just absolutely crazy to play with. Like, he's the kind of player to just like, hey, I'm gonna peek like whatever odd angle this is and just get a 3K. But yeah, so we do have a 12 in server. We do see these teams meeting up on CP Sunshine. I don't know if either of the teams... I know Space Pirates has played this map. I don't know about Edhead, but Edhead's only win so far has been to the now dead King's Crew roster, so they're kind of looking for that redemption arc here to try and make it out of the 2-14 low invite Thunderdome.
Yeah, that's not where you want to finish it off when we're at the halfway point in the season. We're at the 9, like we're at 9. Most people have played 9 rounds, right? 9 games.
Yeah, some teams have played a little bit more, some teams have played a little bit less, just depending on when you get a bye week.
Yeah, so I see Edhead is currently 1-9.
Oh, and something I didn't notice is that it appears that Edhead is using Dagger on Medic and not Megawhack.
Oh, I just realized that, yeah.
So we are going to be going live in our first half here. How do you think this is going to go for either of these teams?
I mean, you kind of laid it out in our pregame talk, where you were saying how Edhead has this very weird 1v1 mentality on every single player, so they don't really play together. And I'm interested to see how that's going to fare up against the DM of the good old boys. The Space Pirates currently make their way in through the choke. Chunky was very fast. They're taking a lot of spam here. Going to be soaking up the heals from Sky before a follow-up bomb from Rocket Wizard, trying to get into the face of Haze. Rakuso comes in and gets a little bit of damage off before Chunky gets the retaliation frag. Nice little bomb onto the medic. Dagger goes down immediately, hiding behind that Tetris. And this is very good little bubble around their medic, trying to rush from people forward. Ghostak can take down Phone, who's making his way forward, but Haze is now taking himself up to the top of the bell tower. 2 to 3 shots takes down poor Ghostak, just walking into every single rocket. And the Pipe Genie himself, Vati, He's going to be backing out and surviving amidst that mid.
Yeah, it was just really passive play coming out of the side of Space Pirate. Just saw Hayes jump into the bell tower early, and that was kind of the end of the big aggression on their team. Their flank was able to wrap around and find Dagger, but after they had picked off Dagger, both the scouts just played their heels and they picked off the aggressive members from Edhead.
Ooh, and there's the bomb. Nice little surf from Sky, but not going to be able to try and kite that out. It's going to be a pop to save the life. Rakuso's trying to clear up a little bit in the lobby. The Stickies almost caught some players. Chunky very low on health, going to get aired up. This is go time now. They only got one frag in the process, and they just lost another soldier, so now they're halfway between the grave and backing out. But the scouts are committed. All of Space Pirates are actually managed to pull off a couple frags that are very important. A nice little surf from Dagger to get on top of this little catwalk on the back lines, but all the other players have managed to survive the rest of the fighting. And it looks like the Beefs are making their way back to the point. That's Edhead trying to
Yeah, there was
here.
no beef on that last hold there. Space Pirates kind of tried to pull some cheeky action just to roll it in top right off, even though they got forced already, and even though they were able to get a couple picks, they really weren't able to find a ton of positioning, and Edhead is just kind of able to play their positioning. They're getting really aggressive on the cafe side here, and a lot of the Space Pirates are super close. Dagger is going to get his Uber popped off, but they aren't going to find a single pick. Eventually, Vadi is going to take down Mr. CVS Pharmacy, and it looks like Shamu's in the backline going to win a 1v1 with Ghostak. But again, it's just chaosing from this side of Space Pirates as they got Ubered into, and they only lost Rakuso there, despite the fact that Edhead had a full advantage.
And there it is. Shamu made his way all the way around through the dungeon, doing some fancy footwork. And now the rest of this Uber is coming through. Phone leading the charge, going straight for the medic. Not going to work out for them, though. Dagger is safe and sound, but a nice little amount of damage from Hayes. Going to juggle that demo into submission. That's going to be the end of his life. And there is so much aggression. It's Dagger.
Oh,
He's got
Dagger.
the first frag, but he can't do more than that. It's just a medic with a slow swinging Uber saw. Not going to seal the deal.
We are getting word that the shutters are broken on the stream. We are aware of that. We do apologize about that. But yeah, it was just cheeky play coming out of a Dagger, and we are going to be coming into our second mid here.
Yeah, very fast rollout from Vati, getting some early damage on the Chunky. Soldier could hurry up really quickly and might be able to do something here. KTB lands on top of the bell tower, going to be butting heads with Hayes, who's wrapped himself around onto this Tetris. A lot of frags going once again in favor of the Space Pirates, but
Nice
right there,
Digi.
Hayes goes down from Mr. Digi, who's wrapped around and killed himself, but still the numbers are in favor of it. But here's Rakuso, one last rocket, moments before death, picks up the frag onto poor Dagger. And now the GK crew, aka the Space Pirates. Yes, we're wrapping them through the valley.
Yeah, that mid was just another showing of Space Pirates playing really passive. Both their soldiers jumped around and just tried to make space, made it really hard for anybody on Edhead to find their picks. But you're gonna see Ghostak going down, so it should be a Space Pirates mid off the back of that, especially with Sky having a full Uber. But yeah, going back to that mid, both the Space Pirate soldiers kind of jumped around and took all the attention away from everybody else, and all the Edhead players were just looking at that. Oh, it's a nice air shot of Digi that onto Hayes was really the only consolation they got.
And now this Uber from the cafe isn't really netting any worth. They might be able to catch out a demo here who's trying to make his escape. No support from the rest of his splash classes, so he's going to die for nothing. And that actually might be just enough because of the current disad. That's actually the opportunity that they're looking for. They need to push into this and stop this second. Otherwise, they're going to lose last because they don't have a demo. They're distracting as long as they can, getting some frags here and there. Phone going down and then a little bit of health on Ghostak. He's in the push of his life. Digi with a nice fadeaway rocket from the point is going to stop that, and there are just two players up. It's the medic and demo backing up to the choke, and it looks like a very good decisive moment in the Edhead push to push out there, and now they have Uber.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Ed just got in from the bottom left from his perspective and made a ton of space for his team, and his team was just able to get out on second, really play their spawn advantage. Scrappy fight ended up taking long enough for them to the spawns to come into play. We are gonna see an Uber advantage though on the side of Ed. It looks like they're getting really aggressive in the valley side of things, but they are gonna lose Ghostak to start it off. Looks like KTV and Ed are here to lead them, but oh, they both get dropped. The Dagger's dropped almost everybody. It is just Digi and Vadi along with Dagger alive with no scouts and no pocket soldier. Digi's gonna be going for the salvage patrol, but he's just gonna get gunned down by Phone in the flank, and what looked like a really good opportunity for Edhead just has turned into a disaster.
Yeah, I think that encompasses what you were mentioning, is that it seemed like a lot of players were staggered in how they were walking forward. We had one person die immediately, and then two players were walking together without the heals. then went down. Rocket Wizard, though, going for a play here. Big damage, one good rocket, but not enough support to finish it off. Sky almost taking a couple shots there from these spam pipes. But the Pipe Genie is going to go back into his bottle and not going to pull anything else out for right now. They're going to need a wish if they're going to get through this. It's Ghostak! Not able to make anything happen here. He gets immediately directed by this pharmacy, aka Rakusa.
Yeah, and it looks like Space Pirates are maybe gearing up to go in with this, but Dagger's at 95%. He's about to get this Uber, and they don't have this cap, so they can just sit and spawn and get this Uber. Dagger's going to come out. They are going to take an exchange. Really good use there from the side of Space Pirates. They're going to get a lot of flashes on the side of Edhead. But it looks like Shamu's just going to go down. Doesn't look like the rest of Space Pirates is really in a position to follow up. They're going to trade 1 for 1. It looks like they're going to trade out 2 for 2. But again, this is the spawn advantage zone for Edhead. It's just going to be Chunky and Sky. Chunky's going to be surfing for his life, but he's going to get a nice direct from the side of Digi to take him down. And it's just Sky alive for Space Pirates.
That was all Digi, by the way. He got 4 kills in that defense and lived to tell about it. I was initially looking at it. They had a weird post-Uber exchange where they weren't really punishing the medic. They didn't have an opportunity, and KTB died all alone. And then somehow the rest of the Digi just stepped up to the plate and pulled it off. Meanwhile, at this new fight going on, a lot of players from Space Pirates were not afraid to get into the fray. And it looks like Vati, once again, just couldn't find his escape route in time. Really good pushing and aggression coming out from the Space Pirates to make sure that they can keep this momentum, keep them on their heels.
Yeah, and it looks like the Space Pirates are gearing up to go. They're getting in from the left side on their perspective. The bomb from Digi's going to get a decent amount of damage into Sky and Haze, but they're just going to clean him up, and they're kind of just feeding into the Space Pirates who have all the positioning on the left side. They're just going to focus down the frags. It's Vadi and Ed versus the World. Vadi's going to come out of spawn, but it's too little, too late, and it's going to be a second round over for Space Pirates. But yeah,
heating up.
Yeah, going back to how Space Pirates were able to push last there, but we saw Edhead just didn't really prioritize the cap time, so they took a fight in Space Pirates spawn advantage zone on 2, and Space Pirates was able to make the fight scrappy and really play off the spawn advantage.
Indeed. Bossy very low on health, very desperate to get any kind of arrow finally, just before that last little rocket peppered him. Man, this guy is playing on thin ice, and that's what happens. You get dropped. Mr. Rakusa, who's made a good sack play. Follow-up from Digi, though, doing a lot of good damage here at the shack. A little more aggression from Rocket Wizard could be just what they need to finish this off. Ghostak takes down Shamu before getting piped by Mr. Chunky himself. He's going to fall down, and Sky on half HP, going to finally pick up that health pack. Trying to wrap around, goes for the swipe. Around the corner, nice little arrow shot. Can it be enough? It's the respawns! Oh, JK Quad beefs that medic sack. But,
yeah, the namesake Ed not able to find the Sky pick. He was able to get 3 kills in that mid, but just not able to quite find Sky on the tail end of it there. Dagger was able to live, though. He was pretty low through most of the mid. And we're going to see Rakusa in on the mid. He's going to drop Dagger. Oh, he did a really good job living that mid, but was not quite enough as Rakusa able to get into mid and trap him in that underneath area. Kind of surfed into the wall. I think Dagger was expecting to get out from underneath, but not enough. And so we are going to see Space Pirates trying to push into mid. We're going to see both soldiers sack into the cafe side looking for something along with Ed, but they haven't found anything. They are going to get a trap kill on the phone as some consolation, but they are 3 down already, so they're not going to be able to do much here.
And right there was a staggered amount of bodies being thrown at the combo that was pushing out a cafe to try and get the force on the Sky. And as a result, one died. They immediately responded to the next threat that walked in. He died. And that's what's really, I'm seeing the difference here. Space Pirates is playing like a unit, and they're defeating players one by one, rather than dealing with like a major sack wave happening all at once. They're really able to take care of one at a time, which seems to be Ed's downfall.
Yep, so we're going to see Space Pirates here with about a 40% advantage. They're going to get an early force is KTB on that one. It looks like Space Pirates are already in the last, but they don't have very much cap time on 2. We're going to see Digi in fighting Chunky and Rakusa in the shutter. He's going to go down to the capper of Bone, so 2 soldiers down on the side of Forehead over here, Mr. Head, and we're going to see Body go down as well. It's just going to be Space Pirates just playing their heals, playing their number advantage, trying to get healthy and trying to fight them up. They're going to get the spawn of KTB, but both the scouts are rolled on the side of Ed Head. They're going to get healed up by Dagger, and it looks like Ed Head has successfully fended off this bush.
Yeah, the full Uber coming through, but they got to watch out because there is a Shamu spy in the back line. It's going to make his way in eventually. A lot of delay. Very good milk from JK Quad. And, apparently Dagger just lost both his partners.
Yeah, Chunky was able to find a trap kill on the KTB after Rakusa bombed in and traded for Ed, so And Dagger was kind of just stuck alone on the bats area, and it looks like it's going to be a canceled push. I think they're going to give Sky to get time to get her Uber.
Oh, there's the decloak. He called it out. It was interesting timing. I think Shamu thought they were all on the left side, but either way, that was just like a really bad spot to decloak, even without a soldier being on the right side. Right now, we do see Digi trying to make his way through. He doesn't quite find the momentum to rocket through these entrance points. Instead, it's going to have to back off, get healed up, and wait for another opportunity to get in. Right now, it's even Ubers on both sides. Shamu committing to it. You see this frequently to trip up your enemy team. Spy play fails. They're not expecting. Actually, that might be why he decloaked so horribly. He's trying to put them into a false sense of security.
Yeah, he's also doing the... He's also disguised as a friendly sniper here. Oh, and Ed challenges Bone there. Bone gonna lose that one, so there's actually no scouts on the side of Space Pirate, so this could actually be a pretty dangerous moment here. But Shamu's making his way into last, able to sneak past Digi here. So I don't think they're going to be suspecting a thing, and this would make a lot of sense for Space Pirates to be playing really passive, considering they have a sniper and they already lost.
Ghostak was ready. He was on the hunt, constantly looking behind him, and Shamu couldn't quite pull it off. Really good props, though. I saw what he was going for there, and it almost worked, but Ghostak not going to deal with it. Phone, though, trying to get some really good aggression through the shutter, is going to get very low on health. Rakuso's going to try and follow it up with the bomb, getting right into the face of the medic, and that's going to force off Dagger, who is desperate to get his players through these battlements. The stickies are still around, so it's going to be a little bit troublesome if Chunky gets a little bit of damage off. He does kill off KTB here. Throwing some spam pipes through the shutter, there's not going to be a lot of opportunity for them to push out onto this point, and it looks like Edhead is going to be taking it all the way back to their last, setting up for some kind of last-ditch defense.
Yeah, this is really bad for Edhead, though, because they have 0 off classes right now. They are going to get the Ghost Stack heavy, but Space Pirates are in on the left side. They don't even have to use it until they get to the point, so this is really good from Shamu and Co. And they're just going to be trying to bait the cap here, bait everybody in, just getting free damage, and they're just going to cap it out. Nobody on Edhead wanted to step on that point.
It was actually, I was watching Digi's cam right there, and he was very close. He was almost about to die, got arrowed up, and was standing around the corner trying to spam it, get those angles right around that little lighthouse, that mini pillar that blocks last. And unfortunately, he was just out of range when it finished capping right there at the end. So he was ready to stop it, but too little, too late.
Yeah, so we do see the 3-0 for Space Pirates. Edhead just really looks like really scrambled right now. I think is like the best word that I could use. Is I don't know, they just keep consistently lose somebody to a trap along with somebody else to like just a really good play from like Urkuso or Hayes, and then they're suddenly 2 down. So they're just really having a hard time finding their footing in basically any scenario.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm pretty sure this halftime is going to be very short-lived. We'll be going to the next round soon enough, so not really much to look at stat-wise, but I do want to mention a lot of frags coming out from Phone, Scott. No, I'm looking at assists. A lot of frags coming out from Phone and Shamu on the side of Space Pirates. Meanwhile, it's pretty much just KJ Quad and Ghostak doing the work on their side. Very disappointed in Dagger's damage per minute. He's only up to 14. Very disrespectful.
Yeah, it's all about that medic DPM in 2019, along with the medic top frag. You know, if your medic's not carrying you in frags and damage, it's really not worth it.
I've seen this from you, Nick. I've seen your aggressive medic style, and it's honestly inspiring because that's how you get through those bad games. You just kind of meme it out with your medic, and everything's good.
Yep, so we're going to be going into the second half here. What's happening on this mid row?
Well, I see Chunky is completely ignoring his enemy demo man. They're just kind of looking at the enemy choke, playing the exact same spot on the patio, complete mirrors of each other, but Rakuso's going for a nicely timed bomb. Gotta get some good damage on Avati, take him down. Meanwhile, a little bit better exchange on the side of the Space Pirates, and with Hayes blocking this cafe entrance on top of the awning, he's going to be putting a lot of damage on the Ghost Stack, while Phone and Shamu are playing perfect defense. They do manage to take down Dagger, and the rest is up to these scouts. Can they pull something together? KJ Quad goes down to the stickies. Ghost Stack is going head-on to Shamu, but he will... Oh! What a surf! Craters doesn't have a second jump in him because he wasted it, and unfortunately won't be able to pull off a miracle surf into the sky 2-shot. Maybe next time.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really long respawn time for the side of Ghost Stack here. It's about 10 seconds later than any of the rest of his spawn. But yeah, on that mid, we just saw the Space Pirates really aggressive, and nobody on the side of Edhead was on high ground. I think KTB was above his own cafe, and everybody else was just sitting behind... They were just sitting behind the Tetris, and Rakuso was able to bomb in and find a ton of damage onto Dagger and Chunky, or not Dagger and Chunky, onto Dagger and Body, and it was just curtains from there because the demo just wasn't able to provide pressure to try and delay them across point, and Space Pirates just walked across point as a unit. Dagger is about to come up on his Uber though. Space Pirates were very delayed. Oh, but the bombing from Chunky's gonna catch him in the spawn door. Dagger at about 90%, not gonna find his Uber this time. And we're gonna see Edhead scrambling to try and put up a defense here. They are gonna get a consolation frag onto Chunky, but Hayes is on a 2k here, gonna take down both of the soldiers, and they're just gonna have a scrappy fight on the point, and it's gonna be 4-0 for the Space Pirates.
And they are just not letting up. This is what happens when you've got a very motivated team with a brand new skipper, Mr. Phone, working the helm on this Space Pirate ship that has no plan on stopping.
Indeed, so we're going to see our 5th mid here. We're going to see Vadi a little bit faster than his demo counterpart here. Chunky just playing really passively, and we are just going to see the Space Pirates once again making the really passive positioning behind their own Tetris, and we're going to see Edhead a little more aggressive, but they're going to get bullied off the high ground kind of early. We're going to be looking for an opening, and Hayes is going to bomb in and get a ton of damage onto Vadi. Recurso's going to come in and clean up that one, and we're going to see a bunch of damage on both the soldiers. Neither of the soldiers on Edhead are very healthy. Shamu's going to claim KTB, and it's just going to be Digi on about 50 health, trying to get healed up. Dagger down to about 40 HP as well. They aren't out of this mid quite yet, but it is looking very dire for them. And Dagger's actually caught in. He wasn't able to make it into the choke. He's able to find a saw onto Phone, but he's going to go down, not able to pop his Uber.
Oh, Ghostak though, once again finding an opportunity to sneak his way in. I like his initiative. He has the heart, but he can't quite compete with the DM of the Space Pirates. They were just dumpstering him. Chunky hitting constant pipes, locking him into the air. Gonna be getting very early aggression here, trying to throw some traps out, keeping him at bay, because right now Edhead is at an end of their rope, and they need to find out what they can do to try and pull something back together.
Yeah, they're about to be sent to Davy Jones' locker here if they're not able to find something on this defense. They're pulling out the stop of Ed's sniper, so they're going to be seeing if Ed can find anything. We see the Ghost Stack heavy. A little disappointed that Ed didn't try and spawn Engineer there, but I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity. They are going to use him from the lower area. It's going to be the Hayes and Shamu typical Uber. Shamu's just going to clear Stickies on the point, trying to get some cap time. They're going to try and baited it. Stickies are dead from the side of Odd. And Digi's going to try and some damage because they're going to actually trade out Hayes on that one. It's a 5v5, but KTB is really hurt. Rakuso's going to bomb in, going to trade some damage here, but Rakuso's going to go down, and Phone's out of this fight as well. He's out from lower, so it looks like it's going to be successful defense here on the side of Space, or for Edhead.
But it didn't come without its costs, because there was actually a nice little medic frag. Sky throwing a long-range arrow on poor Body, who was getting pressured very hard. Got arrowed by the wrong medic, though. Wasn't fast enough to the draw. Dagger wasn't. And there's a nice little backup attempt from Phone, who managed to sneak his way through, but he gets dropped. So that's going to be the end of that little backup attempt. But this has enabled some respawns on the side of Spacehead. They have all 5 playing on the second point. And with such a fear of a backcap, this is basically a 5v5 at this moment. And Rakuso keeping one of these players out. Ghostak can't even push out. KJ Quad is also disconnected. There's an Uber on the point. It's going to be exchanging with both players on the patio. Digi goes down, and with no soldier in this post-exchange, it's going to be very difficult for Edhead to survive this. They're going to have to back some players out here. Ghostak gets piped, and there it is.
Oh, but Phone's in on the land. So yeah, it's going to be a 5-0 for the side of Space Pirates. I'm a little disappointed. I felt like Edhead really just didn't find a lot of their ground. I felt like there were a lot of very simple mistakes that ended up leading to just really poor scenarios for them. And I felt like some of the stuff that they kind of ran into, like especially at invite level, I feel like they should be more aware of. I felt like they got caught off guard by a lot of sticky traps and stuff that are particularly common, and they just didn't, you know, the A, B, and C were there, but like the follow-up after that really wasn't quite there yet.
I feel you.
See, I don't know if we want to take a peek at the stats, because it was kind of a handling on the side of Space Pirates.
I mean, Edhead definitely didn't go without a couple heads of their own. Actually, one of the most depressing stats. Actually, I now see 2 stats. One of the things I whoa, wait, hold up. Sky is 0 deaths. I think we found it.
Yeah,
I think we found the cause. Sky has 0 deaths.
I think that's a large part of it, but I think the telling thing on the other side of thing is if you look at Digi and KTB, all the projectiles on Edhead, they all had particularly poor stats. Rocket Wizard went 3-15, and Vadi was 5-12.
I mean, Digi did okay. He had that really important defense, so I'm not gonna just brush him to the side. But the other stats definitely. I'm used to seeing 12-5 demos, not 5-12 demos. That's
yeah.
That's
But
where
the
you
other
know it's
thing
messed
you got to
up.
look at too is if you take away that 4K defense from Digi, right? He only had
Mhm.
4 frags the rest of the match.
Exactly.
So it just kind of tells me that for the most part, everybody, or at least all the projectile classes on Edhead, just really weren't able to find their foot. I think a lot of that was just the side of Space Pirates, like particularly Rakusa was just doing so much work with every single one of his bombs. He was just almost always getting like a direct upgrade trade with like a demo or a medic, or finding like 400 damage across like 3 fragging classes and pushing them all out of position.
Exactly.
So I think that's about all I've got trying to dissect these stats here. I don't know if you have too much more else to add, Ro.
I can't dissect anything. That's not my line of study.
So yeah, so this does leave the Space Pirates. I believe this is their 3rd win? 4th win? I want to say it's their 4th. Yeah, they are 4 and 6 now.
Okay. Yeah, I was remembering. I was like, they were 3 and 6, right? When I looked them up earlier. Yeah, now they are 4 and 6. So
Yeah,
they're
'cause
still more or less on the road. They'd have to be like pulling a real big push, but 6 losses is not the end of the world in Invite, especially with
No.
how even most of the second and third seed are so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely the season for upsets, and I know that Space Pirates, at least initially, their goal was to try and make playoffs. So it's a tough ask. They can only in theory lose one more game, which means I don't think it's too much of a stretch to see them beat like Not Interested or maybe Ford or Cafe, but it's a big stretch just to have them beat both Ascent and Furia. So I mean they're not out of the standings yet, and you can even do it at 8 and 8 realistically. But another team would have to be 8 and 8, and you'd have to have the head to head or the rounds against them. So they're not quite out of the runnings yet, but it's very close.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not insurmountable, but I can't think of a closer word to what kind of requirement it would be to turn this 4-6 into a 9-6. It's definitely a very tall ask.
Yeah, I mean, there's players like Sky, Shamu, and Rakusu who have done it. Maybe not quite this big of a disparity, but they have made invite playoffs before, and they do have the up and coming talent in Phone, Chunky, and Rakusa or Phone, Chunky, and Hayes to maybe do it. So
I think that'll about wrap it up for us. No other major stat lines. We saw the game. We saw one good moment, a couple of really tight defenses, but overall, just a very unfortunate turn of events here and there, like some drops from Dagger. The only one that really mattered was the one where he had to hope his team would defend him on mid when he was completely bullied into the underneath the point by Rakusto's really good bomb that you mentioned. But
yeah,
other than that, yeah, very unfortunate. But Edhead definitely keeping players on their toes. We'll see what they can do later on this season.
yeah. I mean, Edheads. I think they're kind of playing the spoiler role now at this point in the season, and they're kind of just playing for fun. I know most of the players on that team are pretty buddy with each other, so they're just kind of riding it out for the last season of Invite.
Yeah, that's how you gotta focus on it. That's where it matters. It's all about having a good time with your lads and not worrying about the score line, and instead doing some setting mini goals for yourself, like killing certain players in like fun ways. You know, Nick, can you relate?
Yeah, I might know a thing or two about that.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll about wrap it up for us, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been the Edhead versus Space Pirates match. Space Pirates coming out on top with a solid 5-0. My name is Ro. I've been joined by my friend FrickMyNick and Looster, the camera guy, who's going to be signing us off with some hot beats. So stick around if you're in chat and want to hear the hotness. And if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. Peace out.